You know
what
what,
you
bro?
digging into
Everything is
really
still
right now?
maintaining, but it's like every part of my life, everything I'm working on, everything I'm touching, like every aspect of my life, it seems like it's evolving. It's like now it's time to evolve because you and I, we've been talking about this. We've been talking about this whole thing for the last what 2 years. Right before the pandemic, we were talking about what things are changing, things are changing. Pandemic hit, it went through that whole stage, and then we talked about it coming out. And it was like, we don't know when it's going to come out. We don't know if this is going to be like a few weeks, few months, few years. But it's like now that time is here. You know, and this is the thing, bro. This is the thing, and this is what like I've been studying. This is what, and I use the word study. This is what I've been focused on. This is what I've been obsessed with for the last, I'll say, 22 years, man. It's like there's a pattern in everything. Like there's a pattern like in creation, it's a pattern in finances, it's a pattern in health. There's a pattern associated with everything. And once you understand that pattern, bro, like then you can start to master life, man. And it's like, and I'm not saying I've mastered it, but I can look back now and see the point where I understood the pattern. Because for example, like right now, when everybody starts to panic when things are going bad, I celebrate because I understand what that means now. And it took me going to the bottom without understanding what it meant to understand it. Like when this time comes, when everything is going downhill, that's when it's time to elevate, bro. Like that's part of the pattern. And if you sit back and look, man, it's tied to everything. Like if two people are in relationships, you can see it in the healthiest of relationships. If a person has, I don't care if they have several commas in the bank, they can still see it in their financial situation, man. It's in everything, bro. Like when I made the path, I kind of broke down on how to rebuild your life after difficult situations. But that pattern, bro, is in everything. And once you understand that, man, it's like you become fearless, man, because you understand that even in the down cycles, like that's part of the come up. You know what I'm saying? Like when I look at the last few down cycles of my life, I can go back to 2009. When I go back to the down cycles, that's when I saw my life. Like that's the only time I elevated after that down cycle. So now, man, it's like it just stages, brother, and I can see it coming. Like I can tell, and shut me off when you want to, bro, because I can just run. I can tell, like there's a reaping and sowing season, and I can tell like when my life is going up, and I can feel when it plateaus. And when it plateaus, I used to panic. I used to say, you know what, I'm doing something wrong. I'm something's not right. And sometimes, I might get distracted and lose focus, and that's part of it. But it doesn't matter if I'm grinding full steam. That pattern is still gonna play itself out. So now I just ride that way. Life is all about surfing. If you can learn to surf that pattern, brother, man, that's like step one of self mastery, bro. It's a beautiful thing, man.
You know what I'm saying? And are you saying this that you once you became aware of it, the patterns were there, or even before you
Well, the
became
patterns
aware
have
of it,
always
the
been
patterns were
there. I just started reacting to it a certain way, and looking back, hindsight is what I can understand that like when I talk about like the regular ebbs and flows of life, man. Like you can't stop it. You can't stop it, and once you understand you can't stop it, then you can surface. Like things are going to go up, things are going to plateau, and things are going to go down. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. And like I said, like looking back on the past 15 years on things that happened in my life, how I handled and how I came out of it, I'm like, bro, this is in everything. It's tied to your money. It's tied to, like, for example, like there are some people that just naturally master the stock market. And it's because they can see a thing that most people can't see. Everybody sees it, but most people don't understand it. There are some people that master relationships. Even the healthiest of relationships have down cycles where two people are like, you know what, we just beefing for a period. We don't know why, but people that have mastered relationships, they understand that's going to take place. But financial, man, people are understanding now that degrees are good, all this education stuff is good, but in order to make money, in order to be successful, like that's an old mindset now. For a person to say, you know what, I'm going to go to school to be successful, it almost sounds crazy nowadays. It's like going to school, that's cool if you want to master something, master your craft and be something, but don't tie that to success. Like the two aren't even tied together no more. And that's a reset. You know what I mean? Like 5 years ago, 7 years ago, you would have never thought that people without degrees could, you know. So it's just like it's a reset, man. And I think that like right now, like people are just in a like the main thing that people have to understand right now, the stage we're in as far as like the collective is like rebuilding yourself. It's like now is the time to identify who you are, what you want. Like now is the time because think about this. If we're in a reset, that means everybody's on an equal playing field right now. So right now it's all about redefining yourself. Think about this, bro. When I talk about the pattern, this is what I'm really saying. When you think like and you got these patterns that come in 3 or 4 years, they come in 50 years, they come in 100-year patterns. But when you notice doom and gloom being preached, that's for a reason, bro. The governments, and I don't want to get political, but the governments and the powers that be can keep this society streamlining at a constant pace if they wanted to. Gas could be $2 a gallon for the next 100 years if we wanted to. But when you start preaching all this doom and gloom and be careful, that's because there's something energetic taking place. And if people aren't distracted by this stuff, they can sit still and say, you know what? I'm understanding who I am now. So when I see those patterns coming, I said, now is the time. Now is when the energy is doing that thing, because now is when the propaganda is being preached, man. I can go through stages, man, and those stages, they can last for a year. They can last for a year and a half, maybe longer than that, man, where it's like everything I touch turns to gold. You know what I mean? It's like I can you know, put documentaries together and it's just gold, like with very little effort. But then I can feel when it plateaus, you know, and it feels like there's just just like a ceiling or a gate that's just like the ebbs and flows are taking place. And I used to look at that as a bad thing, but it's just time for me to like reset and get ready to elevate. And the thing is, now that I'm thinking that, maybe everybody doesn't experience that because maybe when people aren't trying to elevate, then they can stay maybe in a steadier spot. But it's like me and you and several other people, man, it's like it's always about expansion. Like until I die, I'm going to be expansion. And that's not necessarily financial. It's going to be spiritual expansion. It's going to be relationships with my peers. And if I'm in relationships, it's just like constant expansion. But some people don't expand like that. So I would assume if someone's not expanding, the ebbs and flows are still taking place, but they're more of a stream. For example, if a person gets on a job at 20 years old and they retire at 65, I'm sure their life is going to pretty much be, you know, but if a person is trying to swing for the fence, you know what I'm saying, and achieve greatness, then those ebbs and flows are going to be, because they're putting more of themselves, you know, they're in deeper waters, you know. So going back to what I was saying, man, I can feel like when everything I touch turns to gold, and now I can feel when it starts to level off, and I kind of just ride the wave. I kind of just back up. I slow down, maybe less videos. I might do more reading. You know, just getting ready for the next level, and then I'll feel where it'll start taking a nosedive. Like things will kind of just start at the same time as when the world is saying, okay, this, but it's like, okay, now it's time to suit back up and get ready for that next level. And when it does that, that's when I start, you know, getting my mental right, man. Start creating that new version of myself. And the odd thing is, brother, when I hit those plateaus, like even my meditations have ceilings. It's something telling me like now it's not the time. It's kind of like I say, it's everything. It's kind of like planting a garden. There's cycles to it. You know, it's in life. It's in everything, brother. I notice my meditations. Like some days when I'm going through the stage, I can't even meditate, man. Some days I have to cut on just music and just sit there and try to find a Zen state. But once this gate is open, brother, I can sit in my office and meditate for 5 or 6 hours. I can drop my son off at school, come home and sit in that chair and stay in that zone until I pick him up. It's crazy, bro. But at the same time, when that happens, life is moving fast. Like it's moving fast.